Hands on a rock. Hello everybody, I am of course Invertebrarian. Thank you for joining me here today on the channel and choosing to watch this video. If you're new here, please of course consider subscribing because it really does help me out. And if you're watching this video, thank you. Amazing. So without too much of a dilly-dally, we're going to get into this video. I opted for the £35 mystery box from Ants on a Rock. There was a few delays, I'm not going to go into it, but there was delays along the way for one reason or another. And the tip of the iceberg was the postman arrived and I was expecting a package, and I asked him if you got my package, and he says, no package for you, sir. And I was like, well, here's the tracking number, it says it should be out for delivery today. He was like, he went, I tell you what, go and check my van, and if I come back in, I've got your package. If I don't come back in, then I don't have it. So off he went to his van, and I'm like, "Urgh." And then he comes walking in with my box in hand, and he went, I put my jacket down on top of it and didn't realise I had it. So that was kind of just, that was like the, you need to know the rest of the story. The end is kind of irrelevant. Anyway, without much of a further ado, let's crack on with our £35 mystery box from Ants on a Rock. So now we're going to hand over to VoiceOver Me. Thank you for watching. You're welcome. So VoiceOver Me, take it from here. As you can see, we are opening a box. We are using a lovely sharp knife there, slicey, with such skill and precision, anyone would think he's highly trained in the use of sharp objects and implements. Maybe he is. Who knows? Upon removing that lovely paper stuff there, yep, get that out of the way, we have a test tube that can be recycled. Put that in the blue bin. That's a test tube, and we have another test tube there, so I'm guessing that's two queens. We have this little doohickey. It's a Outworld with a little test tube. It's got a double port connection, so we can have two test tubes attached to this little feed-in Outworld foraging exploration area for our ants, which is pretty nifty, neat, super duper cool. We'll set that aside. This here thing we'll have a look at later on. Keep the mystery going. And to keep the mystery going even further, you're never going to guess what that is. Next up we have this. It's either a swimming pool for our ants, or it's a barrier and a paintbrush for putting the barrier on. Again, it could be a large swimming pool and a device for picking bogies out of my nose. Who knows? I said nose twice. Another test tube, I think that's a glass one if I recall correctly, and some pretty cool Ants on a Rock stickers, and a business card there. The card that helps drum business. So yeah, check them out. There's all the cards, there's the details, all that stuff. It's out of focus, but I know what it says. I'm pretty sure you can fathom it out. Ants on a Rock, Ant Corner, and Exhibitionists UK, and yeah, loads of cool information stuff on the back. As mentioned, you're never going to guess what this is. Drum roll. And it is of course a really cool Art Exhibition UK mug. My wife came walking in at that point in time and was like, oh, that's a pretty cool mug. No, you're not getting it, it's mine. So there we go, and now on to this doodah. Oh, there he is again, Mr. Skillful with the knife blade. Sensible person would buy a handle to put the knife blade in, but no, not I just, yeah, anyway. So here we go, we're slicing about it, and yeah, there we have one of these little things that I need to make up, which involves taking plastic protecting thing off the little acrylic thing, and we have one of those glass test tubes with the saturation port, hydration port, whatever you want to call it. A really cool thing there. So yep, I can't remember if I did a time lapse of putting this thing together or not. Let's see. Okay, yep, we've got some kind of time lapse. Yep, we'll throw it together. There we go. Yeah, well, that was that. We have a cube. think there's another video where you actually get to see it properly. You put one of them together. Can't remember which one. It's there somewhere. Go and watch all my videos. So there we have the little Outworld cube. So we've got we've got lots of test tubes, two sort of exploration Outworld kind of areas, the white suspicious powder and a liquid, the potential bathtub or mixing pot, and a paintbrush or bogey picker. So now on to our queens. Two queens. Oh, we will go with this one. We'll go with this one. Yeah, this one first. Right, it takes me ages to get into it, so I'm going to do a quick edit. So our first queen is the Formica Sanguini. This is a really beautiful look at the coloration on her. We'll have a proper look at them afterwards, but right now we're just trying to get the camera to focus. There we go. We've got a lovely, beautiful kind of orangey body with the black head and abdomen. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. Love it. She's a stunner. Now on to queen number 2. There's the test tube. Open it up, and inside we have a Formica rufibaris. And this is just awesome. You can see this queen here actually has workers. And if I recall correctly, the first one is actually a slave maker, whereby they would raid other Formica nests to steal eggs larvae. So we have the mug that my wife's not getting. We have the business card and the stickers. We have the stuff there, suspicious looking stuff, the white liquidy powdery barrier stuff. We have our 2 queens. We have our Outworlds, little exploration zones areas, and yeah, what an absolute cracking bargain. All that for 35 quid. One cannot complain. Okay, so it has been a few days as requested on the little sticker that came with the queens. It was please set us aside for a couple of days so we can acclimate is the word I'm looking for. So we've done that, not a problem. So what we're going to do is go have a look at the queens and discuss the stuff we got, see how they're doing, see if they've been all right, because there was delays, is what I'm trying to say. Which wasn't necessarily through any individual's fault. It was Royal Mail being Royal Mail more than anything. But without further ado, let's go check on them and see how we're doing. Okay, so as mentioned, please place in a quiet area, dark area, for 2 days after receivership. It has certainly been more than 2 days, so we're going to get a wee look at them. So first up, the Formica rufibaris. And she seems to be doing absolutely fine and diddly. And there we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 workers I can spot in there. So obviously we'll want to move these into something, so we can get them a little bit of sugary goodness and all that jazz. So they are doing well. And our other one. Have a clean now by the looks of it. Yep, she's having a wee clean. She's doing well. Now, I know these obviously are a slave maker species, it looks like. I'm not sure if that's been a piece of food there that's just disintegrating, but she's just cleaning away. No sign of any brood that I can see. These are slave makers, but they would obviously still have their own workers, but nothing there, which is a little bit unfortunate, but both of them are doing well. That's the point. Both of them seem to be fit and healthy. This one, obviously, more importantly, we want to try and expand on. This one, right. So let's summarise Okay, so let's just wrap this up and summarise our ants on a rock. People will be aware at the time this video will be released, there's some kind of murmurings going on. I want to remain completely impartial and base that on my experience, so we're going to do that. There was delays with the box arriving, which wasn't great. I was annoyed, but it was quickly rectified, resolved, and yeah, I can't, you know, things are going to happen. Big companies, little companies, new companies, old companies. Mistakes are going to be made along the way. So I can't. I've had it with just about everybody I've ever dealt with. So I can't really um, comment too much on that. Yes, it's annoying as a purchaser, but you know, things are going to happen anyway due to delays, and part of it was in fault. Well, a big part was in fault due to Royal Mail. So there was, you know, it wasn't down to one particular individual or individuals. It was an accumulation of events that led to the taking longer for me to receive my goods, which, as I say, was annoying. But you know, wipe the slate with that. Got the box. It was absolutely fine. Everything's still alive. Everything's well. It's been about a week now, I think. So as I say, this was a £35 mystery box. We got the little Outworld that we've pieced together. There was the double chamber, spare tubes, spare test tubes, barrier, which is always good. You know, you can always use barrier. It would have been nice to perhaps have some nectar in there, but you know, maybe in the bigger boxes. I don't know. The one thing that really kind of stands out to me is these tubes. So normally, ideally, what you would do is you would take the cotton wool out and just connect your colony onto however you're going to allow them more space. With these tubes, however, because they are small, they can't really just be connected to one of the given bits of equipment. So what you would need to do is you could potentially slide that down into one of these bigger tubes, remove the cotton wool and connect the bigger tube, which is fine. But for me, my worry would be that the ants would get round the back of here and not be able to get back out again. Maybe that's what this is designed to do, I don't know, but there seems to be quite a bit of clearance between the smaller tube and the bigger tube. So I'll be worried about them crawling down and getting stuck behind there. Maybe I've just been overly paranoid. But that is the one thing for me, is that obviously you want to cause as little disturbance to your queen ant colony as possible. So the only way you could do that would be to push them inside another tube and open it up and let them out, or try and move them from one tube into the next. The problem with that, again, is this is bigger than that, so you'd have to seal around there and wait for them to move into the bigger tube. Which isn't great. It's not the end of the world. It's not great. It's a bit of a pain as a keeper. Ideally, what I want to do is just pop the cotton wool out and connect them onto whatever they're going into to allow them more foraging space for feeding and stuff. But with that said, I really can't complain. Now, I've had a quick look at other stores, and the value of the queens themselves certainly are more than the value of what I paid for the box. When you take into account the two queens and all the other little bits and bobs you get with this, you've certainly had your value for money. So from a buyer point of view, on a £35 mystery box, I would say this is above that. I've certainly, you know, I've not been tricked or duped in any way. So yeah, I from my £35 mystery box really cannot complain, other than the fact that these smaller tubes are actually not really much use to the equipment you get with them unless you push them down inside a bigger tube, which isn't ideal for me personally. I don't like the idea of doing that, but that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do, and we'll find a way, because we always find a way. We'll find a way. So we'll just quickly, finally summarise the whole thing from start to finish. So the delivery process was unfortunately a bit of a shambles, but that was rectified through communication, so I can't really fault too much there. Communication was good. Packaging was absolutely fine. It arrived well. Most of the packaging, from what I can recall now, would be recyclable, which is always good. the products, the queens outweigh the value of the box as far as I'm aware, and adding to that the rest of the bits and bobs certainly outweighs the value of what I paid. As I say, this was a £35 mystery box, so can't complain there. So delays on delivery, done, dusted, we've covered that. Communication, bro. Packaging, bro. Stuff inside, the goods, brilliant. Queens are alive, well, healthy, despite the stuff that's been going on. The only negatives, as I say, would be that this isn't really much use for the tubes that come with it, which to me is a bit of a pain in the bahookie, but I could deal with that. It's not the end of the world or anything. So that is that for me to you guys. I have tried to remain as impartial as possible because I'm aware that, you know, everybody's going to have their own opinion of any given company, and there's going to be negatives, there's going to be positives, but this is my review of this company. Yes, there's negatives, but I would say the positives outweigh the negatives that I have experienced doing this. I just wanted a mystery box. I always find a mystery box quite exciting, and normally my mystery boxes would be arachnid related, and I wanted to try something a little bit different, so I got myself an ant mystery box, and you know, all in, can't complain. And that is it from me to you guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. Of course, be good, be kind, take care of yourselves. Thank you ever so much. Pop your comments down below. Please do consider subscribing because I really want to, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. That is it. Anyway, thank you ever so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.